Wellness Solutions Network. I'm here today with Leah Staff, Corporate Program Director with EWS Network. Hi, Leah. Thanks so much for discussion today.
Good morning, Megan.
Leah, you've been in the industry a long time. Really passionate about health and wellness promotion in our workplaces. And share with me what your thoughts are around senior leadership support. They can either help or hinder a wellness program. Share with me your insights about that.
Absolutely. When we look at the senior leadership team, one of the key things that really pushes towards success of the wellness program is an authentic desire to see it succeed. And when we see the wellness program succeed, it's because people are getting healthier, they're improving their lifestyle habits and implementing some positive behavior changes. But it really does start with that authentic desire or belief in the benefit of a wellness program. And it doesn't matter where that belief comes from. It can be, we want to implement this as part of our overall business strategy. It can be part of their continuous improvement programs. It can also lend towards change management and helping employees who have to deal with ongoing ongoing processes or ongoing change within the organization. We know that there's a stress that goes along with that. Regardless of why people want to implement a wellness program, if they have an intrinsic desire to see it succeed, then everything else will naturally flow from that. And when we talk about senior leadership, it also needs to go through all levels of the organization to department managers, section managers, shift supervisors, and also down to, or not down to, but across to the union leaders and the union stewards as well, so that there's a continuous message of positivity around the wellness program, not only to make sure that the message is getting out, but to make sure that there's that uptake.
That's great. And you touched on that communication piece where leadership teams need to have that, and that helpful communication with all of their leaders to ensure that the message is getting across. How can leaders hinder a program, though, in terms of maybe not believing potentially in the mission of what we're trying to accomplish? How can they hinder it?
Right. Well, one of the key roles of leadership is to set the direction, to inspire people, to motivate them, to draw the big picture of the vision of this is where we want the organization to go. And therefore, if there isn't that belief within the wellness program, if there's a disparity between what they're saying and what they're feeling, everyone in the organization will pick up on that. Because remember, we used to talk about women's intuition. Oh, it's women's intuition. We just know. What we know now is that's actually subordinate's intuition. That if someone has authority or control to some degree over my life in that particular segment of my life, I automatically become more attuned to reading them correctly. And I'm probably not aware of this, but that's what actually happens, because it's in my best interest to figure out what my boss really means when they say this, and does that match their behaviors. So when we talk about a hindrance, it can be a disparity between what they're saying and what they're doing. Because wellness we don't just talk about wellness, we have to do it.
Absolutely. Really well said. Leah, share with me some examples of successful wellness programs with that support, if you wouldn't mind. Just your insights and what you've seen in our industry to really label a program successful with that support.
Right. I think that one of the biggest success points that you'll see, it doesn't jump out. I think that's sometimes what people are waiting for. Mm-hmm. They're waiting for this epiphany or this moment or some story that they can point to and say, here we go, that's our success. It's actually much more subtle than that. It's when we see things happening on a normal basis, when it becomes normalized that people are taking stretch breaks or doing desk yoga, when they're taking their 3-minute standing breaks every hour on the hour, when they're attending lunch and learns, when there are pedometer challenges and people are participating, when it becomes the thing to do, when wellness becomes just part of the meaning making within an organization, that's when you know you have some success. When people are seen in those positive organizational behaviors of volunteering to do something. So when they start self-organizing that, hey, you know what, I'm going to get 3 of my colleagues and we're going to start doing a walking break in the morning for 10 minutes. And when that begins to snowball and other people participate, that's when you know it starts to be understood as a culture of health. It becomes expected. And if you're looking for an aha moment, if someone brings, brownies or someone brings donuts to a meeting and people go, kind of, oh, that's a little bit unusual.
Yeah.
Now we've got a successful wellness program for sure.
Amazing. As corporate program directors, we, implement wellness strategy. We try to fit that strategy to the culture, and then we start to track and evaluate how things change. And these are all really excellent examples of things we can actually capture, because I think that's another angle of leadership, is they have to know really what's happening. And they have to know on a regular basis what's happening. So capturing some of these success stories, these culture shifts, these testimonials, is a whole other game of ensuring that everybody is in the know as well. So communicating that's important.
Yeah, it depends on what they're looking for, right? What are they tracking? What are their targets? Then that's the information that they're going to want to know is, are we getting where it is that we want to go? Past that, leadership can relax a little bit and let other people manage the program. You can have a wellness committee or a task force, or delegate it to someone within the organization where it makes sense, someone in HR or so forth who can work with a provider if that's the route that you're going. But they don't really have to worry about the day-to-day of it. In fact, the wellness program can be a place of meeting for the leadership team to interact with other employees and meet as a person to person. When they're both sitting down at the same lunch and learn, or when they're both participating even in a shift warm up or whatever it happens to be, it's an opportunity to just meet as people, and it can start to build those relational aspects of leadership that are so important within an organization. The wellness program can also be a bridge between the generations. After our Gen Xers, we have the Gen Nexters who are
yeah.
And interestingly enough, that group is going to be, or is showing themselves to be highly ethical, and honesty and transparency really matters to those people. So you can dovetail that with knowing that that generation is looking for wellness. They're looking for culture. If they're part of the wellness committee meeting, then they are really going to help to spread that information and spread the word and try to bridge those generations that are within your workforce as well.
Excellent. It's inclusive, and it has to be. And I love that. Thanks so much, Leah, for your insights and your wisdom today. You certainly have a passion for this industry, and we really appreciate your time in sharing what you've seen in this industry for so long. Thanks so much.
Thanks for getting the word out, Megan.
All right. Thanks.